Hello everyone who has been traumatized by happy death robots. I am BorderWise and welcome back to From the Depths, Nita Faction Overviews. And we're doing the most requested one of all, which is the one that was actually requested at all really, apart from the whole series in general. It's the Twin Guard. And once again I am joined by that most Canadian of VTubers, Roston VT. Roston, say hello.
Hello, resident Canadian here. I'm really excited to be talking about Twin Guard today, because I haven't had much experience with this faction, so I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. Well, so before we get into it, I just want to say that From the Depths as a game, because it is such a complex game, because it's such a creative game, people's experience with it vary greatly. Especially with what factions give them trouble and which ones don't, because whatever build style you gravitate towards the most does determine what you will have an easy or harder time with. That being said, I personally have a hard time with the Twin Guard, or at least when I'm testing and designing to fight against them. It seems that a fair amount of other people also how do you say is that they have the least fun fighting them as opposed to other factions. And also, cheese is subjective, but I do think whatever your opinion on what is cheesy, and also bearing in mind that Nita has rules for faction craft to stop too much cheese happening, they are, if any faction in From the Depths is cheesy, it's the Twin Guard. They are the most cheese-like. They have a robot craving for dairy, which is one of the weirdest sentences I've ever said. But anyway, first things first, we do need to talk about the map very briefly, because if you look up on the map, it is roughly the northwest corner of the map. There's 3 islands there, and apart from that, there's a lot of ocean, and really, their part of the map is, not particularly interesting or noteworthy, thank goodness, because the faction itself will probably give you enough headaches as it is. Ralston, is there anything about their corner of the map that people should perhaps know?
The only thing majorly of note is that, depending on most starts have you start off with at least one faction between you and the TG. Which means, in terms of Twin Guard, you'll either have to go for Steel Striders, which is objectively a harder faction, or through Onyx Watch, which is a completely different playstyle. So either way, by the time you get to the Twin Guard's borders, you're going to have to either change up your playstyle completely, or you're going to get cheesed, as BorderWise said, by the nanomachines.
That is an excellent point, actually, that when you fight the Twin Guard, again, depending on your starting location, it can vary. This is a faction that forces you to change your playstyle. You need to do something different when you run into these guys. The other factions that we've discussed so far, so Deepwater Guard, starting faction, you just figure things out, Onyx Watch, White Flares, and even the others to a certain extent, you essentially have to do whatever playstyle you're doing. If you do it more and better, you will generally be okay, but the Twin Guard, you gotta change your game a bit, because they are wacky. They do all kinds of interesting, annoying things. So yeah, good point, Ralston. Okay, now let's get into the faction characteristics itself, and spawning here we have the Euphoria, which is this is a pretty good example of a Twin Guard bit of nonsense. So their main thing is sub-vehicles, and in particular sub-vehicles on tractor beams, and repair tentacles to repair those sub-vehicles. It actually used to be worse in the day when sub-vehicles could repair the mothership using repair tentacles. I just remember those days, I just flashed back to them, and my goodness, those were dark days for a new player trying to figure out the Twin Guard. So if we shrink this friend here, there should be... This guy has repair tentacles hidden somewhere, right? Oh, I found them. Here they are. Lots of them. So... Actually, we can do the block counter thing, can't we? That'd be sensible. So we go to the repair tentacles. Where are you? Huh. What is the name of these compact repair tentacles? Wait, no, it's in C, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in C because it's compact. There's 40 of them.
Jeez, okay, that's way more than I thought. Where the hell are they all? Hold on. Let's do the fun thing. Maintenance tools.
Alright, when he's looking for that, I'm going to quickly explain something. A lot of TG's lore is based around the fact that they're robots sent from the Scarlet Dawn to prep for their arrival. And a big part of that is the fact that they are made out of nanomachines, son. And now that I've gotten the joke out of the way... that's why they have such emphasis on repair, is because it's part of the lore, and a lot of these builds are going to be lore accurate with the amount of repair tentacles they have.
Yeah, just 40 bloody hell. I knew this thing would have had some, but like I wasn't expecting that many. Silly me. Alright, to show off just how not... Oh wait, hang on. The debug. Do we have debug tools in here? We do not. That's annoying. I was hoping to blow up one of these sub-vehicles to show off like how fast this bloody thing repairs with its 40 repair tentacles. Actually, there's a fun way we can do that already. Let's spawn in a hapless... What's the thing that'll actually get some shots off on this? Before...
you can spawn in a martyr.
Ooh, yeah, martyr. Good idea.
Little throwback to last episode where we found out that they have nukes on them.
Let's spawn in a bunch of them, shall we? 1, 2, 3.
I'm down.
Wow. Actually, you didn't look at the Euphoria that much at all. Kind of glossed over that. I was looking at all the other annoying things they have. Oh, yeah. Did you suggest martyrs because you knew this would happen?
Yeah, I just wanted to show off the hit scan weaponry. It was
Yeah.
No,
right.
Here, 1 second. I can show something. I believe we can just do this, if I'm not mistaken. Simple weapons.
Oh, you can put a nuke on it. That's... Yeah, there you go. I actually wanted to nuke the... I wanted to nuke the sub-vehicles, not the main craft.
Okay, but it still shows off.
It shows, yeah, it does show off just how fast that repairs, but it also illustrates that, yeah, you should go for the mothership first, in general. We'll get to that in a bit.
My bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
Got a little nuke happy there. But...
Yeah, the Twin Guard in general, precisely because of this annoying repair spam, they are a DPS check. They are the roadblock which is saying that, like, alright, are you doing enough damage? If not, you shall not pass past this point. And because there's the previous factions, you can kind of get away with, like, attrition warfare, so long as you keep hitting them bit by bit, you can chip away at them. Not so much with the Twin Guard, unless you are actually managing to flawlessly focus on the mothership. They're just going to keep repairing, and they're going to keep shooting you, and they're probably going to outlast you. So yeah, DPS check, did you bring enough guns? And sometimes even it requires, if you haven't set up your target prioritization like perfectly, it requires you to take manual control of whatever weapons you have to specifically target the mothership, because I think a fair amount, I suspect, Roar you can confirm, or like, what's the opposite of confirm this? I forgot the word.
I can deny the Twin Guard allegations.
Confirm or deny that a lot of Twin Guard craft, they seem to actually count on default target prioritization settings to get you to aim for their sub-vehicles rather than the mothership. Is that correct? Have you heard that that's the case?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's intentional, but I will say that it does tend to extend the lives of many a Twin Guard vehicle. A big way to stop this, though, is you can just hold Q on the mothership and all target when you're in campaign.
Yeah, that is... This is also the point where, like, yeah, you do need to micromanage what you're doing a little bit. You can kind of sit back and relax, sort of, with the Deepwater Guard, Onyx Watch, even maybe stuff like the White Flares and Lightning Hoods, because if you set up your ships right, they'll just get on with it. Twin Guard, that might not be the case so much, unfortunately. But on top of the fact that they repair so fast, they also add insult to injury by also being quite heavily armored on the bits that matter. So if I just do... Can we... Aha! We can't do the repair thing because there's no tools. Damn it. We can shrink blocks, though. This one, the Euphoria, doesn't seem to be super heavily armored, but if we spawn in one of their more... Where is it? Ah, I was looking at the White Flare spawn menu. That's not intentional.
That would do it.
Right, let's spawn in the Disgust, because it's disgusting. Not my words, it's literally called the Disgust. Alright, so let's go look at the torso. I'm guessing... Yep, so you see, they're doing the heavy armor wedge thing a lot. And then, on top of that, this thing's constantly being repaired. They burn through materials like crazy, but unfortunately, they only need to keep repairing so long as you keep damaging them, and if they kill you first, well, they no longer need to repair, do they? Also, I'm going to switch my fleet colors to Twin Guard, because I just realized I was in the wrong ones. Oh, look at this dude's little beady eyes.
He's gonna get you.
He is gonna get me. I
love their little faces.
I also love their little faces, but I don't like it when they look at me and start shooting. That's upsetting. Alright, so let's have a look down here, and yep, same kind of stuff on the mothership as well, so they're really tough, is the annoying thing. They were tough even without the repair tentacles. With the repair tentacles, oh boy, you better have brought all your armor-piercing everything. And, like, and insultingly as well, we should probably show off the Euphoria for this. I will just get rid of the discuss quickly. We need to spawn in something that shows off how those particle cannons do, because the Twin Guard really like weapons that, well, weapons and weapon setups that basically ignore armor completely, which seems rather hypocritical of them, except it isn't. Let's go white flare, let's spawn in. Euphoria is about 500k. Let's spawn in a Judgment. Let's see how long the Judgment lasts here. Kablooey. So that's a piercing pack, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Where is it? Scatter lens? Yep. So 60 AP piercing, and this particular one fires 2 bolts of about 28,000 damage each, and that's not as strong as Twin Guard packs get. They're super strong. They go through armor like it's not even there. Very expensive, and oh, cool. The Judgment also has packs. It's a pack-on-pack fight, isn't it? You can see here that, like, yep, well, there go the steam turbines for the Judgment. Jeez, it's like, this is why when people first run into particle cannons, they sometimes hate them, because it's like, well, I just learned how to armor my craft. There's hundreds of hours of my life wasted. But anyway, be aware that they really like to do that. Not just with particle cannons, they also do it with lasers. There's this one thing, I've forgotten what it is. What is it? Is it the Wonder? I think the Wonder definitely does do that. I'm thinking it's not the Ecstasy, not the Agitation. I think it's the Joy. The Joy...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Joyful is the opposite of what you're going to be feeling with this little bastard. Okay, that is actually spawned in on the Twin Guard side. I have regrets. Anyway, right, let's spawn in a friendly Joy and enjoy the chaos, shall we? Enjoy the chaos. Right, so they like their piercing snipey lasers. So my camera doesn't move fast enough. Truly, it does not. I could have warped, actually. So let's see here.
Oh, that's a little quadcopter.
Yay! Well, not little. Like, look at all this bloody laser nonsense in here. It's silly. Where is the multi-purpose laser? I need to go find it. Multi-purpose laser. It's over there. It has 2 of them. So damage per shot is 12,000 with 92 intensity. So yeah. That is a flashlight that shines straight through ships lengthwise. Oh boy, you gotta love it.
He has a good time doing it too. Look how joyful he is. Look at his little face.
Where is his little face? Let's look at his little face. It's actually, am I looking at this right? It's one horrifying big dark eye.
Yeah, he just stares into you with a smile.
Yeah,
you can imagine it.
You can't see the smile. That is a smiley eyeball, and it's like heh. I'm going.
One must imagine the Joy happy.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's called the Joy, and it's like, I am going to shine a light on your innards. Doesn't that make you so happy? Anyway, they like to shoot straight through your craft. And, that's not, like, it's lasers, pack, APS as well. They like their armor-piercing shells. So really for this craft, if you haven't been making super redundant craft, or just craft small and cheap and nasty enough to, kind of afford to lose the odd one, you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna need spares of everything, because the opening shot with a lot of Twin Guard craft is just going to go straight through you, like, and it takes ridiculous amounts of armor to kind of stop it. So yeah, it's just easier to have spare engines, spare AIs, spare turrets, like, I don't know, spare lives in general.
Have spare ships while you're at it.
Just spare everything, really. And they also love their hit scan weapons, as we've already discussed, particularly those particle cannons, which are... Their opening shot is... It might miss, but it probably won't. And they also love their drone swarms. Oh, their drone swarms are so fun. I'm just going to spawn in a swarm of Scorns. Where are they? There they are! So this is another reason why these guys are particularly irritating and why you need to bring your own hit scan weapons along. They love to swarm you. If they're not just have big, chunky robots shooting at you with lasers and particle cannons, they're gonna do something like this. In fact, I think the Scorn used to... What is... This used to be worse, actually, because these little bots used to repair each other, I think. They might still do that. I don't recall. But anyway, these are like mini little guys that get in your face and don't leave you alone. It's the worst. And they've got lots of different swarms. Like if you, particularly on like the easy and medium, lots of swarms. We've got the Pearl, Silver, Meek, Pixie, Valor, Havoc. Over in medium, we got more stuff. We've got the Satisfaction, the Alacrity, the Enigma, the Defiant. They got lots and lots of swarms. Which also, it just occurred to me, in campaign battles, you can change the block limit. You can't really cheese that effectively when they have a bunch of, like, swarmcraft, because, like, sub-vehicles kind of ignore the block limit, so to speak. Like, if the mothership can spawn, then it spawns in all its friends.
Exactly, I was just about to talk about that.
Which is irritating, which is also means that, like, if you've been relying on just picking off enemies one by one... The Twin Guard believe in the power of friendship, and they will bring their friends along whether you like it or not. So you better get used to dealing with swarms of little annoying robots. And speaking of swarms, they do have suicide craft. We'll get into that later. So, like, if you remember the Martyr and the Sin Eater and other suicide craft that the White Flayers have, the Twin Guard have them as well. Oh boy, we'll get to show them off a lot later. And in particular, because of the fact that they literally like to swarm you, you're going to need detection and point defense kind of in all directions, because they're going to come at you from above, they're going to come at you from the front and from the sides, and from behind, probably, because of just how, in the chaos of battle, like, things shuffle around a bit, and from below as well. So, if you are like most people, and you think that weapons don't belong on the underside of your realism-based ship, I have bad news for you. You do need something underneath them, because, like the Twin Guard, I think more than other factions, they like to sneak up on you from underneath. Just sneaky, and, like, there's one craft in particular I'm talking about, and Rorston already knows which craft I'm going to talk about. I'm saving that rant for last. And,
it's a good craft.
It is good. It's annoyingly good. Wow, this little Scorn just collided with the Joy.
I'm watching that right now.
That's not a joyful thing to do. I like how we're basically having Twin Guard craft fight each other completely by accident.
It's not a joyful thing to do, but it's a very scornful thing to do. Also,
yeah.
I want to quickly touch on it before we move on to the next segment here. But if you look at the Joy, they actually have little shield drones as well.
Yes. Oh, yes.
This is one of my favorite things about the faction, because those little shield drones just kind of they're on a turret and they just kind of focus, like they just aim at whatever the Joy is currently engaged in, and it actually takes up a lot of fire. It's been taking up a lot of this laser fire with its shields and its bulk with heavy armor. It's really cool.
It is really cool. It's also... It's like, it's one of the three ways, I guess, that, like, the Twin Guard really like to use sub-vehicles. They use them as, effectively, turrets. They use them as, like, little swarm drones, like, almost like an aircraft carrier. And they use them as shields. And this is, honestly, probably the more annoying things they do, because this thing is just a lump of heavy armor that is constantly being repaired by the mothership. And it's kind of hard to get past this if you like using, like, weapons that fire in a straight line, like lasers and APS. You know, the weapons you've probably been using a lot if you've managed to get this far. So it's kind of a very cunning troll move, so to speak, and very effective. So part of learning to fight the Twin God is learning how to get around things like this. They come at you from all angles, you have to come at them from all angles as well. So, on that note, weapons to use. You're gonna need to bring the hit scan stuff because, are there any Scorn drones still alive? Kind of. They've fallen into the ocean. For some reason, it's almost like they're being shot at. I'm actually just gonna destroy all vehicles for a second to really hopefully demonstrate how this works. So let's spawn in the Scorn again because, where are they? Was it the Scorn?
They're in drones.
Yeah, drones, and are they they are a medium thing. So we're gonna have a Scorn Swarm over there, and hopefully we have a Lightning Hoodcraft that can actually friggin' demonstrate how to shoot down lots of little drones.
Volta would be a good one to use here.
The what? Sorry, the
Volta. It's one of the skimmers.
The Volta. There we go.
Yeah.
I got it. There we go. There's the Volta. So you I don't know, with the white flares and stuff like that, you can almost say that, you can kind of fumble your way through it without hit-scan weapons. Twin Guard, you need them. Otherwise, if nothing else, it takes too long. And the Vault is perhaps not the most missile-proof thing to do here, but,
He's living. Watch him. Look at him. He's hovering
look
around.
at him!
He's dodging them. Look at that. Wow, he's actually dodging them. I'm generally surprised by this.
He is dodging a lot of missiles, and he actually... I think, is the laser disabled?
No, the laser's still firing. It's a small burst laser. So he's doing small, you can see the damage in the top right there. He's doing a lot of damage. It's just most of it's getting absorbed by the planar shields.
Wow, we're seeing something different. This guy on my screen, he hasn't fired in a while. Uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Could be a multiplayer. I wonder if that's a multiplayer issue then.
I think there's a lot of issues with multiplayer. One of the... Oh, there it goes again. He's actually going for the mothership on my screen. But yeah.
Oh, okay. He's going for a random drone on my screen.
Wow. You should be recording on your end as well, just so we see, the what do you call it, the split in the time stream or something.
Yeah. Well, it was like last week when we had the white flare with the Covenant with the Martyr inside it, hoping it didn't explode.
Oh yeah, that was a fun thing that thankfully it didn't explode. That would have broken the universe, I think, a bit.
Also, the Volta just lost its turret, so...
Oh, yeah, I saw
I'm trying to
that.
think what the larger one is. Maybe the Ampere is what I was thinking, though?
Alright, where's the Ampere? You spawn that in. You know where it is.
I got it for you. Should be the Ampere.
There it is.
But yeah, it's the Plasma version.
Okay.
Which isn't hits... It's not as much hit scan, but it's still pretty good, because Plasma's decently fast enough that you should be able to hit TG drones.
Yeah, on that note, it's just you need hit scan for the small evasive stuff, but for the chunky armored stuff, what was the thing we spawned in earlier? I've already forgotten its name, unfortunately. It's the... What do you call it?
Euphoria?
Not the Euphoria, the other... The Disgust, that's one. So anything with... Oh, dear. So the Ampere is, it's going for a swim. Oh, dear.
Alright.
Oh, dear.
Well, those are Lightning Hood's two updated crafts that I know of right now, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, boy. Well, the Twin God is just clowning on them. But anyway, so...
Twin Guard is harder than LH.
I think it actually is.
Yeah, no, this is my agenda. I'm trying to get Twin Guard boosted in difficulty rating to above LH again.
What?
This is my agenda.
Damn your robot agenda. Anyway, so... what was I gonna say? Oh, wow, that plasma cannon actually did a number on the mothership there. Wow, this thing actually managed to get itself up out of the water. How did it even do that? How did it even sink?
I think what happened is it tried to avoid some missiles or the Volta that was in front of it, and so it went under, and then it's able to come back up because it is able to self-right. I believe both of them are able to.
Oh my goodness!
Or we just got really lucky.
This thing is doing trick moves anyway. So plasma, compact designs that, like heavy armor, it's the rule with plasma is you plasma the hell out of them, and plasma in general works pretty darn well against the Twin God because both their motherships and the sub-vehicles tend to be quite compact and filled with heavy armor, so great way to tear them to pieces. Actually, the mothership for the for the Scorn actually got dropped into the water by a plasma shot, so
Yeah, I just watched that. Jesus.
Yeah, completely by accident. That's a very good demonstration of what plasma can do to a twin guard craft. It's quite nice. And also, really strong railguns. For the things like the Joy, which have that little shield in front of them, it really helps to have projectiles that can go straight through that. So you kind of have to copy the twin guard again and have really strong piercing weapons. And I mean really strong. Things like that go through heavy armor like butter, that kind of thing. So, yeah, shoot straight through their shields if you can possibly help it. And same thing with particle cannons, especially because they have lots of active defenses, and particle cannons are just generally the screw it, I am sick of your defenses, I'm going to hit you no matter what you do. Very good for that. Missiles, not super useful. From my testing, a lot of twin guard craft tend to have pretty damn good missile defenses that are either too evasive for them, or they're jammed full of lambs or interceptors or even Seawiz and stuff like that. So missiles, you can't rely on them too much. And also, self-guided missiles like radar missiles and infrared and stuff like that, they have a rotten habit of going for the sub-vehicles rather than the mothership, and you can't, command them otherwise, so to speak. So again, not ideal. Although they are good, should mention, for hitting craft from vulnerable angles. Like, you can launch missile... Deacons, hell, that is a strong plasma gun. Just getting distracted by that.
It's good.
Yeah. You can launch missiles in ways that they come at craft from above or below or from the side and stuff like that, which is very convenient for the twin guard, because they like to have one optimum direction to face you, even if they're not a front-sider. So... handy to keep in mind. Probably big thumper missiles would be thumper or heat missiles, remote guided or laser guided. I've had some success testing laser guided missiles against the twin guard. The problem with their bigger stuff is that they just have lambs that goes hum num 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 and eats every single missile, which makes me very sad. Okay, so on the note of missiles, they do have a lot of submarines, and I'm going to remember to spawn them in the right team. So look at the easy thing, man. We've got things like the Tolerance. We've got things like the Vengeful.
Take your bets now if he sponsored it on the right team.
I did it.
I'm
a good boy. I did it.
Yeah.
What
as for weapons to
this?
use while you're spawning those in, I do want to touch quickly on something. Fire and flamethrowers are actually kind of a sleeper build against TG. The biggest reason for this being the fact that fire will continuously eat away at TG, and usually it's at a point faster than they can repair. And it's also really good because of how dense TG is. Dense builds, especially armor and alloy, like heavy armor and alloy builds, both of those materials are flammable compared to metal and stone. And so it's actually it can be quite a silly little way of cheesing their drones if you manage to hit them with a flamethrower.
That's actually a good point. I'm not sure how easy it is to get a flamethrower craft close enough to survive all the nonsense they throw at you, but it's probably entirely feasible to swarm them with cheap flamethrower drones. Essentially using the drones like ammunition. It doesn't matter, flamethrowers are quite cheap. And I should mention as well that I was testing just before this recording incendiary weapons against some of the bigger, meaner twin guard craft. I should mention that you want big fire. Little fires don't do jack, because it's like any chemical shell, you don't want small amounts of it. You want to really set them on fire. We want robot barbecue levels of fire. So basically, again, it's the DPS check. You want to set them on fire to the point where, you see an absolute river of block confetti, and that's the level of fire you need. So it's not just a little fire, it's a lot of fire. And yeah, on the note of submarines, you absolutely need to bring anti-submarine weapons along. Their submarines look amazingly good. This thing, the Vengeful, I forgot about this thing. It's so cool looking. But they really like their submarines, and in particular, they like their submarine swarms as well. Roar, can you, if you remember off the top of your head, one of their submarine swarms, can you spawn that in so we can stare at it, please?
Oh, that's a great question, because all the lore files have been removed, so I can't just read it anymore.
Well, while you're
there we go, Pearl Swarm.
Yay! Oh, well, perfect. All right, so Yeah, so things like this are a bit of a problem. And speaking from bitter experience in, of all things, the Caravonian Rebellion custom campaign, if you're dealing with swarms of submarines, you can't just lob a whole bunch of acoustic torpedoes at them and forget about it usually, because when you get swarms of submarines in high enough numbers, they essentially act as decoys for each other. Like torpedoes, sonar torpedoes can actually get confused and like switch targets, because they prioritize things which are closer or things which are bigger and stuff like that. So you do want to bring along your particle cannons, your supercavitation APS. Even stuff like magnet bombs with neutral buoyancy can be very effective against swarms of little submarines like this. Like, I had a miserable time dealing with huge swarms of submarines back in the day because I just wasn't ready for it. And in general and from the depths, if you are ready for something, you're probably going to be fine, you're going to have a good time. If you're not ready for it, it sucks. And speaking of not being ready for things, cram cannons are generally not very useful against the Twin Guard. This is the point in the campaign where you need to get actually pretty damn good at building cram cannons in order for them to really do the best work that they can do. And you also need to pick your fights with them properly, because against swarms of drones, crams are just either overkill or they'll never bloody hit them. Against submarines, crams are not ideal unless they're right on top of them, which can happen if you build your craft to do that. But the main problem is that the Twin Guard repair really quickly in between the crams reloading, and also they have some very heavy active defense with their larger and stronger craft. So lots of lambs and lots of interceptors, which just make anything apart from very strong cram cannons like not very useful at all. And speaking as a career cram gunner, that makes me very sad. It's one of the reasons why the Twin Guard is like not my favorite faction to fight. So crams, you might want to put them on a shelf. And in
APS.
I have, thank you. I still like cram. Leave me alone with my cram bias.
To be fair, I still haven't learned APS, so I can hardly judge you.
But really? You've made good APS, though, that's the thing.
Like, the last time I played this game before coming back was 2016 when they just added APS.
Oh.
And I haven't had time because I've been learning everything else.
Okay, then. Alright, so, yeah, so really, if you're gonna try and use cram against the Twin Guard, like, you better get really good at making a vehicle fast and maneuverable enough to put the crams in the best position, which is just generally a good advice in crams and any weapon in general. Plasma, we've mentioned. Plasma the hell out of them. In fact, what's a strong plasma craft, Ralston? I'm gonna spawn in a Twin Guard thing to shoot at.
That's a good question. It's probably in Lightning Hoods, because I don't think many of our factions have like actual plasma craft in the game yet.
Yeah.
There's quite a few that are in the build right now. Like, because it's been a few weeks since the last build went out, and there's a lot of craft coming in the next update.
Yep.
But I think the Ampere is probably the strongest one of its plasma shotgun at the moment.
Okay, you spawned in an Ampere. How expensive is the Ampere? It was
it is
200K.
Currently at 200,000. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to spawn in. Let's spawn in. Let's spawn in an Anguish and see how we do. Let's see if the Ampere can survive this.
I believe in him.
Oh, that's the thing with the sword. I forgot.
Oh
about
wait,
this.
no! This is evil. How could you do this to him? No. Oh, okay.
Actually, this thing can probably outrun it. Hopefully. Oh, this is tense. So anyway, like
that's gonna be a close.
As mentioned before, Deacons. Hell, I completely forgot about this bastard. Oh, that's a very very good demonstration. Plasma the hell. The way it trails its sword in the water is so cool, actually. I love that.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so...
But also, you brought a gun to a knife fight.
Yep. So Plasma can only really out-damage the repair tentacles if it is big and nasty enough, but it certainly is more damage efficient than other things against a block of self-repairing heavy armor. Also flanking them. So the Ampere is actually demonstrating another thing with this, is that like the Twin Guard, they are all about the robot friendship and the robot love. Oh my god, its arm got shot off. That was amazing.
Oh dear lord.
Plasma, baby! Plasma those nanomachines, son. So anyway, so you actually want like teams of craft, and in particular fast broadsiders, things that change their angle of attack in relation to enemy craft. It just blew its head off.
Jeez. You got the headshot and the amputee shot. Holy crap.
am loving this. This is so satisfying to watch. But anyway, so you kind of want to flank them as much as possible, if only so it can help you like bypass the swarms and target the mothership. It can help you shoot at the back part of these kind of torso turrets. This one is freaking out right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Yeah, so it can help you basically bypass a lot of the directional defenses that Twin Guard craft have, so teamwork makes the dream work. Don't try and fight them with one singular massive craft. They will bully you if you attempt that. Like, oh my goodness, the torso's getting left behind. This is another reason the Twin Guard annoy me, is because like they keep violating the laws of physics in a way that's just rude. I think the Ampere just collided with an island. Or did it?
No, it has avoidance on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it might have actually, did it?
Ring,
oh yeah, it totally did.
Ring. I think it just did it again. It did! It's lost 10% health!
It'll buff out, don't worry.
Yeah,
the one thing I want to touch on here, Bo, is that's actually a reason why I disagree with you, because Cram can be good against a lot of the larger TG stuff. Because of the fact that with the way their torsos and the tractor beams are set up, they have a maximum speed. Otherwise, you get things like this where you see the torso lag behind.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times, Dakotas will put maximum speeds on the TG mechs. And so you can get some really good cram hits off on the larger stuff. On the swarms, obviously, don't try it. But on the larger mechs, you absolutely can get away with using cram here.
Yeah. But I stand by what I said, like, it does depend exactly what you're shooting at. Some Twin Guard don't have monster lambs or anything like that. But it still has to be a pretty strong cram cannon. You're not going to get away with, like, spamming small and medium-sized cram. Not that I think anyone does that, because it doesn't work very well, generally. But against their really big stuff, the stuff that's jam-packed full of, like, lambs in particular, and interceptors and all that crap, strong crams. Against, like, what is that thing? Against the Hysteria, actually, is a weirdly good cram target, except for the fact that it constantly circles at 63 meters per second. So it's in the Venn diagram of things that is a big target that doesn't have great active defense on it, or at least not adequate enough. So you have a point, you can cram them, it's just not something I would personally recommend, because other things do work kind of better and more reliably against a wider range of their craft. Okay.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
Yeah, cool. And also, all right, here's the note. Here's where I was going to mention to set them on fire, but you kind of touched on that already. Roar, what would you say is the best method for setting them on fire? Like, what weapon type? We kind of touched on it a little bit already, but what would you say? I would say, because missiles, they generally have very good missile defense. Crams is literally hit or miss. APS doesn't have a big payload. I would say probably an especially burny laser would probably be your best bet for cooking them.
Yeah, for smaller drones, I would definitely go with the hit scan like just with the laser as the best bet for burning them. And the smaller drones is where you want to get that fire damage racked up because it can pretty much core them out instantly. For the larger craft, I would argue APS though, because a lot of the larger craft will have planar shields, which are sometimes set to absorb, which can really take in a lot of laser damage. And also, there's always smoke as a laser countermeasure as well.
I should point out, Raw. Remember that shield projectors, there's no switch setting on those projectors anymore. They both absorb and reflect at the same time.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently I'm out of the loop. I didn't know that changed because I never used planar shields. I build Deepwater Guard.
Yeah. Well. I gotta be honest with you, I hate using shields, which is yet another reason why the Twin Guard are a pain in the ass for me, is because shield projectors are a very good idea, particularly with things like, oh, I'm gonna be so rude now to this poor, what's-its-face, I'm gonna spawn in the Hysteria.
Oh, the poor Ampere.
The Ampere is going to...
better.
It does deserve better, because this is the kind of nonsense that the Twin Guard can spring at you. That is a very fast, built-fed... rail sabogun, and again, it's the kind of thing where it doesn't care about armor at all. It's just going to like tear straight through it. Who the hell
He's burning.
Who the hell stuck fire missiles on the Hysteria? That's just rude. That's just rude. Yeah,
burning
really.
alive.
Yeah, burning alive and sinking and getting peppered. Also, is the Hysteria's torso freaking out for you as well?
Yeah, I think that's just a multiplayer thing.
Gotta love multiplayer. Gotta love robots and multiplayer. Hello everyone, it's Future BorderWise here. So Ralston and I had a really good time just chatting about the Twin Guard, as you've probably noticed by now. And so the video has gone on a little bit too long, and I don't want it to be over an hour. So I've decided to split the overview for the Twin Guard into 2 videos. Please look out for part 2 soon. Sorry for the inconvenience if there is any. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Like Patreon Discord, starting available at the lowest tier of $1 a month. You can hang out with me and other cool people in there. It's a good time. And don't forget to check out Ralston VT. He has a Twitch. He streams quite regularly from the depths and other games. And he has 2 YouTube channels, one for his stream VODs, and the other for more refined or more edited content that he will start doing very soon. So do check that out, and do check out my other stuff, and my Twitch as well, and my other channels. And I will see you next time in From the Depths, Faction Overviews, Twin Guard Part 2. Farewell!